Okay, guys, back here again. This time I want to talk about something other than baseball cards and how to flip something else besides that. So what I have here are some books. So these books I've got, all these I purchased at Half Price Books. That has been the best place for me to find items to flip. So you could look at Goodwill or Salvation Army or a place like that, and I'm sure you can find stuff. However, Half Price Books has everything broken in by genre. So you have, cooking or sports or politics or finance or whatever, so you know where everything is. They're probably not in alphabetical order, but at least you know where the specific genre you're looking for is. So given what I deal in is mostly just sports. So that's what I have here. And that's what I look for. And that's what I've found here in the last few months. So all these books are within the last 4 months. I made this video because a couple days ago I went there and I found a pretty good book. So I'm going to show you what I found, what I look for, what I bought them for, and then what I think I can resell them for. So let's get started here. This first book is a book about Dan Gable, legendary wrestler, Olympic gold medalist, quite possibly the greatest wrestler in history of freestyle wrestling. So being from Iowa, I have seen Dan Gable around a bit, and just a pretty awesome guy, really. This book is from 1974, and it's the first book about Dan Gable, so it would have been a couple years after he won the Olympic gold medal. So I did find this book probably 6 months ago or so, and it had the dust jacket on. It's a pretty rare book. This one does not. So the one I had the dust jacket on, I think I paid around $30 for, $25. I know this book is rare, so I know it's worth more than that, and I sold it, I believe, for $125. This book doesn't have the dust jacket. It has a little bit of writing in there. That's not a big deal, I don't think. But overall, it's complete. You got a pretty nice biography with some nice photos as well. So this one was $15. I think I can get, I would guess, $60 on it, $50 to $60. We'll have to see, but so that's the first one. Next one I got is called Scoring Power. And this is a nice book. This book is from 1957. It's a larger size, and it's got a lot of, it's offensive plays for football. It's got a lot of photos. And it's a big book with a lot of pictures. So this is for Savashevsky. He was a University of Iowa football coach in the 50s. He was a great coach. They had great teams back then. I think this is a University of Dubuque coach right here, which is a small private school. But this book I think is pretty rare to find. I paid $10 for it, and I think it's probably worth $50 to $60. So those were two books that aren't signed. What I particularly look for are books that are signed. So I know like the value of autographs in general. I have a good idea. And books, just because something is autographed doesn't mean it's worth much. It's got to be dependent on who it is, very dependent on that. I mean, you can find a lot of books that are autographed, but they're really not worth the price you pay for them. Here's another Iowa book. This is Jess Settles. He played for the University of Iowa. And it's signed by Jess Settles, by Dan Gable, and by Tom Davis, who was the head basketball coach at Iowa for several years. Very good coach. He had him in the NCAA tournament several times. They were ranked almost every year. This is a little bit different book. I would say the value is probably $30, and it was $4. So I don't know. For some reason, Half Price Books they will have autographed books that they know are autographed, and they'll charge a premium for them. But some reason, they don't look at all the books. So in sports are the most valuable autographed books, I would say. Now you have books that are written by presidents. Obviously, those are going to be more valuable, but in general, people know when a book is autographed by a president. And they're either not going to sell them or they're just not going to slip through the cracks like these ones did. So this is a very interesting book to me. This is Marv Levy, his autobiography. And inside, so Marv Levy, he went to Coe College, which is in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And there has been a lot of good athletes that have come out of Coe College. It's a small private school in downtown Cedar Rapids. Probably most people have never heard of it. But he went to Coe. I believe maybe he wasn't the football coach, but he went there, graduated from there, and then went on to be a longtime NFL head coach and front office guy and stuff like that. And he is in the Hall of Fame. So when I saw this book, inside we have a long inscription. So at the top here, it says Chill Hopkins, which is a guy I looked up on Google, and he passed away recently within the last year or so. And he went to Coe College. So he went to Coe College with Marv Levy. So he wrote this: Marv Levy, friend, classmate, teammate, Coe College, 47, 48, and 49. And here's an inscription from Marv Levy. It says, to Chill Hopkins, my classmate and wonderful lifelong friend, not to mention the best trackman on the team and the best friend a teammate could have, Marv Levy, Coe College, 1950. So he inscribed this book to Chill Hopkins. And inside, I found a photograph as well. Here it is. So that's the other thing you want to look for. So you're looking for autographs, which are generally going to be on the first few pages. So generally it's going to be on this kind of cover page here. However, you might find it on this page or on, within the few first pages. The other thing I like to look for is inside, if there's any photographs or anything like that. So this photograph was inside as well. So it's on the back, it's dated. Photo about 1994 to 1997. So this must have been like the 50th anniversary of this track team with Marv Levy. So it has the track coach there, who had to have been about 100 years old, 95 or so, at least in his 90s. Marv Levy, a couple other guys, and then there's Chill Hopkins. So there's the guy that this book was inscribed to. So unfortunately, what I think happened is that the family took a bunch of books into, or maybe it was the estate, or somebody bought a bunch of books at the estate or whatever, and they just sent them to half-price books. This should have been something that stayed in the family, but I'm happy to have it, and I appreciate this kind of stuff. It's very unique. Obviously, there's not another item like this out there. You got the information along with it, the photograph, and I just kind of pieced together who this guy was, and I kind of figured out that how that book got to half-price books. So pretty unique item there, I'd say. Next, this is the one I got a couple days ago. This is a Hayden Frye biography. So there were 3 of these books, and they were all priced the same, $11.48, which I think is expensive for a book, but I have yet to find a Hayden Frye book. He's kind of a tough autograph to get, but he is a legend. He's an Iowa legend. He's a college football legend. He's a college football Hall of Famer. So inside we had the book signed to Ed and Hayden Frye, and this guy George Wine, who helped him write the autobiography there. So I think this book is probably worth about $75, I would guess. Hayden Frye, like I said, his autograph is fairly difficult to come by. So happy to have that one as well. Next, we got Steve Young. So this book was $8. And I don't think this book has hardly been opened. But inside, like I was saying, on like the cover page here, this is generally where you're going to see an autograph. So there you got Steve Young. And that is his signature. So what you want to make sure is that it's not a preprint. So look on eBay or wherever for signed books, Steve Young, just type in the name of the book and signed. And you'll see other signed copies. Compare the signatures, that they're a little bit different. Every signature is going to be a little bit different. And this clearly is not a preprint to me. If it was, it would be more centered, and it's just obviously done in a black Sharpie. And also the ink would be more even. There's little spots in here where you can tell that it was actually signed by a Sharpie. So that's a pretty good book. That's probably a $40 book, I would guess. 30 to 40, $8 for Steve Young autograph. Pretty nice find there. So the last one I have here, this is Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. So this must be a book about their rivalry. I didn't read it, but I was really hoping this would be signed. You see some books about Michael Jordan. Those would be really tough to find. I don't think he signed hardly any books. But Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, I think, probably have signed quite a few books. So inside, I had to turn a few pages here. We have Larry Bird. So it's not signed by Magic, but Larry Bird is definitely a more valuable autograph. He's much harder to find. And it's his full signature. It's a nice signature. Magic does a lot of signings. He does a lot of private signings. And Bird really doesn't do any. It's very hard to find a private signing from Larry Bird. They just don't come around very often. So this book, I paid $8. This was the best find I found in half-price books. But I paid $8 for it. It's probably worth $75 or maybe $100. I would say at least $75. But, this is an example of something else you guys can flip. So we can look at garage sales. We can look at Goodwill. We can look at half-price books. We can look at any bookstore. I would say just look for places that have used books. And regionally speaking, like I have those Iowa books, you're going to have more luck with finding things like teams around your area, colleges or whatever. You're going to probably have more luck with that kind of stuff wherever you're located. I just try to go to half-price books every 1 or 2 months because they're not going to have a ton of new stuff. It's going to be mostly the same stuff they're going to have there all the time. So, if I went 2 months ago, 90% of the books were there. There was, 10% were new books that I hadn't seen. So you just want to go every couple months. Yeah, if you don't go more often, you're probably going to miss out on some stuff. But, you want to use your time efficiently as well. You want to explore other options. Antique stores is one thing I like to go to. And the same thing for antique stores. Generally, if you went to the same place 2 months ago, 90% or more is going to be all the same stuff you saw before. But it's that 10% of stuff you haven't seen, the new stuff you're going to look for that you haven't seen. You can definitely find stuff at half-price books and garage sales and antique stores and all, anywhere consignment stores, anywhere where they have used stuff. Jerseys, shoes, hats, all that kind of stuff. That's what we're going to be talking about as well. So mostly what I do is baseball cards, but I don't want to limit my knowledge or my ability to sell other things by only limiting myself to one specific thing. So guys, that's all I have for this video, but Stay tuned. Please like, please subscribe. Let anyone know about these videos that might enjoy this content. And stay tuned. Thanks for watching.